Hey, my name is Ruha, and I am a children's Spanish educator. I started with my in-person business, Turtle Tree Learning, in 2017 as a mom of one, and I had to close up shop in the 2020 pandemic. I also went on to have two more children, so I really thought that meant that I was done with the business altogether. And then I learned about online courses. Now my goal is to get from zero to launch, and I'm a complete newbie. So I've had some experiences with some of the things that I think I'll need to do in order to get to the launch point. But the truth is that I don't even have a roadmap right now. I'm just trying to take baby steps and make my way there. And since I'm learning this at a very starter level, I thought it could be useful to record my progress. Not only to keep myself accountable and to get familiar with the tools of the trade, but also to be able to share this process with other newbies so that we can learn together. With that in mind, I'm inviting you to share your experiences with me. Email me, leave me comments, and tell me what you're doing, what you think I could be doing better or differently, or even maybe even leave words of encouragement for me and for anyone else following along. So with that, let's get started with what I've accomplished so far. So I had my first exposure to online courses with a writing class in the summer of 2020. I was really intrigued by this learning format. I had taken online classes through universities before, but this seemed different. But I still assumed that some institution somewhere must have given these people the tools necessary and the permission to produce the class. But when my friends and family asked about the writing class, everyone was just as surprised that there didn't seem to be an institution behind it. And it took learning about two more online course creators, one through a Facebook group and one through an online article, before I had my aha moment. I was like, I could try this out too. I started with revisiting what I knew about these three examples. I wasn't sure how established of a technology it was or how on earth people did this. I mean, were they all tech gurus? Would I need years of school to be able to do what they did? And it turns out, thankfully not. There was a Wired article about a girl calls herself Miss Excel, and that pointed me in the direction of Thinkific. And once I experimented with that, I finally felt the confidence to say that yes, I really could do this too. And I tried asking friends and contacts in real life and online whether people had heard of online courses and if anyone could help me get started. And that's how I figured out just how new, that's how I learned just how new and full of opportunity this sector is. Everyone has heard of YouTubers and bloggers and social media influencers, but it turns out very few regular consumers are aware of online course creators. I even discovered that some people, as I talked to them, I considered them pretty knowledgeable, more in the know about side hustles than other people. They had taken online courses without even really realizing what they had just experienced, that it was an online course, just like what had happened to me. Unfortunately, all of this meant that I couldn't find any help in person to get started at first. Then, lucky for me, one of those course creators I had learned of, Jock Hopkins with Piano in 21 Days, had a podcast on course creation. It's called The Online Course Show. And at that point, I was pretty much off to the races. I joined more Facebook groups. So for instance, the Online Course Show Facebook group, Thinkific groups, Kajabi groups, and I read posts and asked lots of questions. I devoured the Online Course Show podcast and found other podcasts to listen to. I had to figure out what I wanted to teach. So that was my next challenge, because at first I thought, sure, I'll teach Excel too. I have lots of interests and plenty of expertise. I floated this idea by many people. Hopefully by now you've noticed how I really need the social aspect to this process. So please leave me comments or send me emails. The concept was met with skepticism as far as the Excel idea went, but general encouragement. But I still had my own doubts about the topic. Then when I went on a trip to Switzerland, and I had a lot of fun. So my family went, so we were all getting together, my sisters, my parents, and my 5-year-old, my kindergartner, I got to teach her some French because I'm fluent in French and Spanish and learning new languages because I'm also teaching myself Japanese and Farsi. So I got to teach her some French, and it was just magical. I had a lot of fun teaching my kindergartner some French while we were there, and that was my second aha moment. I already had all these classes planned out from Turtle Tree Learning, so why not take them online? I get to use existing lesson plans, my ukulele, my expertise in Spanish, and even maybe my kids could help me out. I'd get to really focus and teach them one of my languages, and I'd be helping lots of other kids learn Spanish too. It was a win-win-win as far as I could tell, and I still want to do market research to see if it makes sense, but it is the idea that's keeping me going right now. I started to assemble the hardware, some of which I already owned, including one tripod, my DSLR purchased in 2014, a mic pack, and a remote control. So of those things, I ended up having to buy 2 more tripods, some lights. I ended up having to get a new remote because the old one didn't work. I actually ordered the wrong remote, and then I figured out I didn't need it anyway. My mic pack, I had left the batteries in it so many years ago, so it had corroded and was unusable, so I had to get a new microphone. And my DSLR, like I said, I bought it in 2014, so it actually doesn't take 4K videos. And right now I'm okay with that. I'm gonna proceed with the best video quality it can give me, which is HD, which is good. And I'm just, I'm getting started, and this is my very first video. I'm really hoping to post this one after some editing. I'm using Weave Video for editing, which is okay. I did some video editing in my high school days, and I used much more advanced tools, so I actually do have more familiarity with this that I think I would be better off with something like Adobe Pro, but I'll let you know when I decide to upgrade there. I've also downloaded some software to do teleprompting. It's called Prompt Smart. So anyways, if you like this video, if you're looking forward to seeing more of my journey, learning with me, or, if you're already a pro, you know what you're doing, and you have feedback for me, that would be awesome. So leave me comments, like this video, subscribe, and follow along. If I have a website posted, go ahead and visit it. I'm really excited to get started on this process, and I'm excited to help others along with me. So until next time, see ya.